Hello YouTube, it is Cishir, and I am going to be tiering the MCU movies today. I have seen them all, and we'll see how this works out. It's been a while since I've actually ranked them in my head, so we'll see how this goes as we go on. So, first we have Ant-Man, and God, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man was really good. I thought he was really funny. His relationship with his daughter was really sweet. Small scale compared to the rest of the MCU. Pun totally intended, I'm a dork. So we're going to put that as a B there. That was a solid movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's tough. It didn't blow me away like the first Guardians did, but I still enjoyed it. Still great. Peter Quill is hilarious. Gamora and his relationship is quite good. And then I thought Ego as the villain really did a great job, as well as the sacrifice of his adopted father. So, next up we have the original Avengers. Fantastic team up. That was about when we knew that the MCU was going to be awesome. Let's see. Is this the second Avengers? Yeah, yes, so. I don't know the labels by heart, but is this the second Avengers? Second Avengers was okay. I enjoyed James Spader as Ultron. I thought that was really good. But at the same time, the plot was kind of meandering. I didn't care about some of the new characters they introduced, the side quests, and stuff. Charlotte Witch has never grown on me that much, and she was a pretty big part of the movie. It was stupid that Quicksilver died, so I'll pass. On that being a top tier movie, at least. It was enjoyable there. Like, James Spader makes everything good. If you don't watch The Blacklist, you really should, just for him. Ant-Man and the Wasp, probably around the same level as the original. I thought it was really good. Again, Paul Rudd is just so good as Ant-Man. He really carried the movie. I thought the central antagonist was kind of weak overall there. Wasn't a big fan of that, but, you know, those two had such good chemistry, and I find myself a pretty big fan of small state stuff as well as the big states. Black Panther. I'm gonna give this an A. I really liked it a lot. Killmonger is probably my favorite villain in the entire MCU, aside from Thanos. Loki kind of cheats, so he doesn't even count. I just thought it was really good. The culture of Wakanda was really well done. It was really illustrated well. Almost all of the side characters were very likable, and it was almost surprisingly funny, even though MCU movies do that now. It kind of took me by surprise about how much I laughed during the movie. And Killmonger, fantastic villain. Winter Soldier, well, that's an S, isn't it? I will still go back and watch parts of Winter Soldier where they do that hand-to-hand choreography and just be mind-blown. I also would give it credit because it single-handedly made... Oh wait, this is the first one, isn't it? Oh, hold on. sorry. That's an A. So, rewind. I cannot see barely. So I just see that's the first Avenger. Still love it. We'll talk about Winter Soldier in a second. In fact, where is it? Okay. Spoilers. So, I absolutely love the first Avenger. Captain America was not a character that I knew very well before the MCU movie started coming out. I was more of a Spider-Man geek than Captain America, although he was obviously big in Civil War, which I think everyone knew about. But I really love the casting of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. Like, him being a scrawny kid, CGI aside, was really amazing. When he fell on that grenade, when everyone else ran away, oh, gave me chills. I will still rewatch that scene sometimes, every time. I know there were some weak parts of the movie, and I'm totally biased because I don't care, because Steve Rogers and Chris Evans as Steve Rogers just impressed me so freaking much. We'll get into that more later. But yeah, so, Winter Soldier, yes. The choreography was amazing. It single-handedly made Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a fantastic series for a couple years. The the twist about Hydra, no one saw coming. It was so mind-blowing and so well done. Now, of course, everyone knew that Samuel L. Jackson's contract had quite inspired, so he wasn't dead. But still, it was just amazing. The Bucky reveal, also very good. Just hands down, a fantastic piece of filmmaking, also. I think there was a recent controversy where they were talking about how Scorsese was like, MCU movies aren't art. And maybe they're not art to him, but Winter Soldier is one of the best films of the 21st century to me. So, we'll fight about that. Civil War, one of the few movies on this list that I saw at midnight. Fantastic, love it. Almost up there with Winter Soldier. I was really blown away when I saw it in theaters, and it was really only in hindsight that I could nitpick a little bit. But all of those characters coming together, beating the hell out of each other, the Spider-Man cameo, oh my god, I am such a big fan of Spider-Man. That was awesome. I was so hyped, and I wasn't spoiled either. So that really got me super excited about that. The conflict was also really good too, with Zemo manipulating the Avengers against each other. It's actually pretty clever. I think he's underrated as a villain. I mean, I know there's a lot of popular talk online where his plan relied on certain things, but I don't really buy into that much, because I think even if certain things didn't happen, he probably had other plans set in motion, just because that dude was really pissed about his family. So, you know. Captain Marvel. B. So, this was a pretty fun movie. For some reason, it gets a lot of flack. I don't really know why. I know the actress, whose name I cannot think of right now. Sorry. Got a lot of hate for some reason. I don't really follow her, though. So I went in this movie pretty blind. It's another one that I saw in theaters. Loved it. Just because it was something a little bit different. Samuel L. Jackson de-aged. Looked really good, honestly. And the humor really got me. And the end fight with Jude Law, where... Oh, Brie Larson. That's her name. Sorry. And the end fight with Jude Law, when he wanted to fight hand-to-hand, and she just knocked him out with lasers, and said, "Yeah, I have nothing to prove to you," was pretty great. It's a pretty great film. I mean, this is kind of showing how amazing the upper shelf of MCU is in terms of superhero movies, that even films that I liked a lot can't compete with the upper tiers. So, the plot meandered a little bit too much. The plot twist with the Skrulls was kind of cool, but I was really looking forward to them being villainous. So even though I appreciated the plot twist, it was also a bit of a letdown. Yeah, I think the problem was just it was a little plotting sometimes. Carol was a little too hot to trot sometimes with all the one-liners. So even though I liked it a lot, it's some nagging things here and there. Thor: The Dark World. Well, that's enough. It wasn't fun the first time even. I love MCU movies. I think if you're watching this video, you either probably do too, or typing why I should never do Marvel content again. But The Dark World was just painful to get through. I thought the subplot with Jane was boring, and that's Natalie Portman. She's a good-looking woman. So, but even like mid-20s Chris couldn't get through the scenes with her without rolling my eyes. The plot about the Red Infinity Stone. God, I totally feel the name of it now. I should do videos late at night, but you know, the Reality Stone, yeah. Is it reality? Yes. What's it called, though? What's it called? I should edit this out. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And the movie was slightly redeemed in Endgame when they went back and he talked with his mom. That was a sweet moment. But it just was not a fun movie. Doctor Strange. Okay, so... this is close to an S. I'm just gonna do A. If the only thing I remembered about this movie was Dormammu, I've come to bargain, it would be an S. That is probably my favorite climax of any MCU movie outside of Endgame and Infinity War. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Oh my god, just so badass. I've been a fan of Cumberbatch since he was Sherlock, back before they ruined Sherlock. And that scene was just so amazing. Such a power play. He was just like, you know what? It's cool. I got this. And he just destroyed Dormammu. Now, it'll be interesting to see if that holds up in future MCU movies, because that's a big bad they could use at some point. But for now, Doctor Strange kicked ass, and it was just a fun movie all around. It was funny, different. Next up, we have Endgame. Endgame, easy S, fantastic movie. The fan service was incredible. I know there are nitpicks that you can have about the movie, but I saw it the weekend it was out, 9 a.m. showing the next morning. So the theater was still crowded, but good seats though, which was important to me. Saw it with some friends. It was just so good. There were just so many moments. There were too many moments to think about. I think the one that I will say sits out with me most is when he said Hell Hydra in the elevator when Captain America did that. I was like, what? America's ass. Again, I'm a huge Captain America fan, so clearly amazing. Captain America picking up Thor's hammer. Okay, so I just named 3 Captain America moments. So him getting his happy ending with Peggy was totally okay with me. Fantastic movie. Probably my favorite of the MCU. If I'm being honest, I'll have those 2 in order. Other ones won't be in order, but those 2 are in order. And it just gave me such good feels. Thor Ragnarok. Okay, so I don't know if I have to justify this at all, but this is by far the funniest movie in the MCU. I did not know what I was getting with this movie. After The Dark World, I was a little bit nervous, and I had barely seen any trailers for this, I think maybe one. I was blown away. This was just full-on hilarious, completely redeemed Thor as a character. Definitely is the reason why he's traveling with the Guardians of the Galaxy post-Endgame. Just so freaking good. Hulk was funny, Valkyrie was good, a little bit drunk, but good. Hela was an amazing villain. She did her job effectively. She actually kicked the hero's ass for the most part. It took Ragnarok to beat her. And yeah, maybe the most pure, fun popcorn film of the MCU. Like, I think Winter Soldier might be the best movie from like a quote-unquote critic point of view. Endgame had overwhelming fan service, but Ragnarok was just fun. Like, I'm sure there are flaws, but God, the team up with Loki and Thor was fantastic. Just everything about Ragnarok, I love it. I've seen it like 5 or 6 times now, every time. The Galaxy gets an A. So the best soundtrack of the MCU goes to Guardians of the Galaxy by far. For a time, it was my favorite MCU movie, and then they just kept coming out with really amazing MCU movies. I was really happy that it was like a little engine that could. Back before we really believed fully in MCU, people were like, oh, I don't know if this is good, but it blew everyone away. Introduction to Peter Quill is fantastic. All of the Guardians are just so amazingly funny. Even Groot, like Vin Diesel's best role, not ironically at all. Loved it. Gamora was fantastic in it. Drax. Nothing will go over my head. I will catch it. Like, come on. But Dave Bautista, I liked him as a wrestler, but him as Drax is just the perfect marriage of character and actor. Totally impressed. Just really fun. In fact, probably, this is my favorite movie in the A tier. This is mostly not ranked, but inside the tier. But I'll give Guardians of the Galaxy the nod here. It's just fantastic. The Incredible Hulk. So here's the thing. The Incredible Hulk was like okay. I've seen it like 2 times. Once the year it came out, and then I saw it again like 6 or 7 years ago. It was okay. It's not a bad movie. But it's definitely bad by MCU standards. Thor is just... Thor Dark World is just bad. it's boring. Hulk was just meh. You know, like, it's okay. Edward Norton is a good actor. Mark Ruffalo's better as the role. Probably because he gave a shit about it. But yeah. Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3. So almost a D, but Robert Downey Jr. basically saves this movie. Just gonna be honest. Like, why is this movie not a D? Robert Downey Jr. He's just good in almost every movie. The Mandarin quote-unquote plot twist was BS. Didn't like it. Not cool, but hey, what can you do? Iron Man 2. Okay, so Robert Downey Jr. only has so much power. Iron Man 2 is just a mess. Again, kept from being Thor the Dark World because, again, Robert Downey Jr., fantastic, but at the end of the day, what can you do? The original Iron Man. So, this is probably going to be a little controversial, because I know a lot of people hype the original Iron Man as one of the best in the MCU. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just not. Okay? Like, I know it was the original. I know it started everything. I like it. I like it a lot, in fact. Again, if you're being above, you're a movie that I would watch most days. But I've rewatched it a couple times now. It just doesn't hold up. It's just not quite that good. I don't mean to hate on it, right? Because like I feel like I need to defend it, so I'm like bashing it a little bit, I guess. But you know, it's fun. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is the perfect casting of the 21st century for any movie. I thought the plot was great. I thought the origin story was done perfectly. And Stane's portrayal of Tony was so good. Just amazing acting all around. Even Gwyneth Paltrow, who is popular to hear her, I thought did a great job as Miss Potts in this one. Just not quite up there with the elite of them all. Okay. Infinity War. Definitely S tier. Maybe the best MCU film for me. Maybe, like, it's all four of the S tiers are great for different reasons, but Infinity War just had so many hype moments. When Thor came to Wakanda and just wrecked everything, the snap, of course, was like, what? Seeing so many characters fight together for the first time was great. Spider-Man interacting with others, Doctor Strange and Tony just bickering. Definitely a movie I can rewatch anytime. I liked that they had the guts to give Thanos the victory. I had a conversation with someone I know who we named nameless before the movie came out, and he thought they would only have the guts to kill off one or two people. And I told him, I did spoil it, but I said, no, man, like, this is Thanos. You don't understand. Like, there's gonna be lots of death. And after it happened, the first thing he did was text me and was like, oh, okay. Like, he knew it was coming. He knew that the I told you so was coming. I'm still talking about a couple years later. Because his mind was blown. Like, the snap was a cultural shock. Now, of course, we got another snap. Yeah, brought everyone back for the most part. But yeah, like, just an amazing moment in film history. Just, and everything was gone. Original Thor. I'll save the Spideys for last. Original Thor is probably a C. Is it there? Is it a C? Yeah, that's a D. So, the first two Thor films were not very good. This one was pretty boring as well. Loki was cool. Thor was cool in it. You know, it was an interesting saga going from arrogant jerk to semi-less arrogant jerk, I suppose. But at the end of the day, just not something that I had much interest in. I definitely thought Thor was the weakest of the original Avengers movies. I also have Hulk, yes, but meh. But then they turned it all around with Ragnarok. That's why Ragnarok being so good blew my mind, because it's like, oh, that's just bad. And then the original Thor was just okay, you know. Again, not horrible by movie standards, but compared to all of these, just okay. And then Ragnarok was just like, I'm awesome, hello. Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming. I love Spider-Man. I thought this was an absolutely amazing movie. they did Peter Parker and Spider-Man justice for the first time. It was really shocking. I really loved the fact that they let Tom Holland just be himself. It seems like, just from interviews, it was like no acting here. It's just Tom Holland and, hey, you're Spider-Man now. And it was so fantastic. I love the villains that they have chosen for the first two movies. Vulture was done so well. The twist that he was his crush's father was just like, what? When he opened the door near the end of the movie, and it's just like, oh, hey, here you are. And then him figuring it out was so well done. I thought they did such great justice to both sides of the character. Tom Holland may be the perfect Spider-Man. It would be really hard to top this casting. And I really thought they did a great job with the Vulture not betraying Peter in prison. That was respectable. I hope we get to see something more from them. And finally, Far From Home, the latest Spider-Man movie. They give it an A. So, I didn't quite like this as much as Homecoming, but I still enjoyed the heck out of it. Probably my least favorite of the A tier, I would say. Yeah, that sounds about right. Least favorite of the A tier, but still A tier. Mysterio was so cool. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal was the perfect casting. Definitely some flaws with the movie. A little bit of narration at times to make up for, you know, showing. You're supposed to show, not tell in the story, but, you know, whatever. Jake Gyllenhaal being a pompous jerk for 5 minutes explaining his master plot is acceptable. I love the CGI. Like, his Mysterio outfit and it all being fake was just so beautiful. And of course, I saw it coming. Like, as soon as Mysterio showed up, it's like, oh, well, duh, of course this isn't going to be real. But it was still a fantastic movie. I loved the ending with Peter killing him. That was like, what? Did that happen? And yeah, that's going to be interesting. Even though, you know, him killing him is a bit of a stretch to say, I know, but that's what the world thinks is going to happen, so that's going to be fun going forward for Peter. So yeah, that is the tier list. As you can see, I got 4 in the top tier. The Thors kind of stuck together. In fact, it's not fair, but I'm mean. So this is the final list. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you would like to see me tier in the future. And this has been Chris. Have a good night or a good day.